Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Red Take. It's time to go over my takeaways from the NFL in Week 3 and my predictions for Week 4. So let's get started with that Thursday night football game between Pittsburgh and Cleveland. Once again, while their offense had some good moments, overall the Steelers' offense couldn't get anything going. With Mitchell Trubisky as quarterback and with T.J. Watt, not playing on defense, they could not stop Brissett, and they definitely could not stop that run game with Nick Chubb. Um, so it's like, Mike Tomlin keeps on wanting to start Trubisky, and that's his choice, but it's like if they don't give Pickett a shot, then I feel like their season's over, especially that for every game that Watt does not play. Texans versus Bears is one of those, battle of the bottom 5 teams in the league type of game, so you get, some ugliness in there and all that, but again, you get a close game, and with the Bears prevailing. Um, Again, I know the Bears are 2-1 right now, but do not buy into them. Raiders versus Titans. Raiders are sadly done, in my opinion. Yes, you can technically come back from 0-3 record, and it wouldn't surprise me, especially with the schedule sets up, if they eventually go on a Miami run like of last year, where Miami won 7-9 games, or whatever, to make things interesting. I can maybe see that, but having this 0-3 start is just going to be too much to overcome. Chiefs versus Colts. You can blame the Chiefs' special teams for the loss here, and they definitely do deserve some of the blame here. But the offense has kind of regressed a little bit from week 1 to week 2, now to week 3. So the offense now kind of needs to get back into a role. They want to avoid any more, upset losses. Bills versus Dolphins. Bills' lack of a running game finally, catches up with them at some point. I was wrong. They're not the Georgia football. And also having basically their whole secondary out due to injuries is not, ideal either, especially with that Miami Heat that played a factor. Again, credit goes to Miami here, but I still think they're a little bit overrated. Now, they could be one of those good regular season teams. They're like a top 3 team in the AFC or whatever, but then just the playoffs will interest them. But right now, that's looking like the direction that they're going. Lions versus Vikings. You feel bad for the Lions here since they should have won this game, but once again, they show they'll be a tough out for mostly anyone. And for the Vikings, we'll see with the Dalvin Cook shoulder injury, if he's out for any games, and how that might affect things there. Ravens versus Patriots. I will apologize to the Ravens offense. Again, I will apologize to the Ravens offense. I thought they had no weapons and would therefore struggle, except when I say weapons, I don't include Mark Andrews. I'm talking about the receivers, But it's been the exact opposite. The Ravens offense, have scored, at least 4 touchdowns every game, and they're looking very good. And no one can still stop Lamar Jackson's running abilities. And it looks like they're on track to get the number 1 or 2 seed again. As far as the Patriots go, like I predicted, they're going to struggle now. Mac Jones, being out and all that. That's going to make things worse. But again, Mac Jones is already not looking good, throwing the most interceptions in the league so far already. So I was right about him and the Patriots, not having to go off the coordinator. Bengals versus Jets. Bengals finally, bounce back on track here. Now that they, it's not good that they needed 4+ turnovers to win this game, but nevertheless, you win. So I feel like they finally found something offense here to kind of get things going. Eagles versus Commanders. Once again, Eagles look like the team to beat in the NFC. I'm still waiting for our weakness to kind of show with Philly, but after that Week 1 performance for the defense against Detroit, the defense is playing outstanding against Minnesota, which is a good team, and now the Commanders. So this is going to be a very interesting team to watch going forward. Saints versus Panthers. Like I said last week with Jameis Winston's back injury and ankle injury, you must play a capable backup in Andy Dalton. 100% Andy Dalton's better than 60 or 50% Jameis Winston. Now, Dennis Allen said, "Oh no, we're not going to change." It's like kind of like Mike Tomlin's a typical defensive coach, not seeing the big picture. It's like got to go with the better option there. Unless Andy Dalton's looking that bad in practice, then fine. But Andy Dalton seems like the clear choice here. Because if not, then the Saints aren't going to be able to overcome a 1-2 deficit with their hard schedule that they have. Next, you got Jaguars versus Chargers. Now, I did say that if Justin Herbert either didn't play or if he did play, but was clearly limited and all that, then the Chargers would struggle. I'm sure that's what happened. But also, the Chargers just suffered way more important injuries and all that, and Jacksonville was able to take advantage. Jacksonville, I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna say they're the new Bengals now. They're gonna be going to the AFC Championship game. I'm not gonna go that far with them, but it's like now I could definitely see them potentially win their division. That's definitely a goal for them now. And for the Chargers coach, I I know injuries are a big factor and all that, but you're on the hot streak now. You gotta fix the narrative here if you want to keep your job, Brandon Staley. Rams versus Cardinals. Cardinals once again get off to a slow start, costing them this game. The fact they have started slow for 3 straight games now is definitely a trend, and that's something they got to fix. And Rams, they're barely getting by too. They need to fix some of their own issues. Falcons versus Seahawks. Once again, just about bottom 5 teams here. Congrats on the Falcons for finally getting the win column here. Packers versus Bucks. Good for the Packers getting this win, but I wouldn't get too happy if I'm a Packers fan here. While their next few games will be easy ones, the fact that they barely beat Tampa, who are missing their top 3 weapons and half their own line, that's not good. You should typically beat them by a lot more than that. I know the Tampa defense is good, but still, it's like the fact that after you score 14 points, you did nothing the rest of the game. It's like okay, I'm not sure what to think of that. Against a good healthy team, Packers might not look as good, aka Minnesota Week 1. 49ers versus Broncos. I'm not going to get on Jimmy G like the others will. Although, I mean, granted, is that part that part was funny what he did, pulling a Dan Orlovsky there. But Jimmy G didn't practice much in offseason and all that. So while he's been with this team for years and all that, he's to kind of get back into his rhythm, and get on sync with the other players and all that. So that's why I'm not pushing the pan button for them just yet. Denver, I was close to pushing the pan but now, if the Denver Broncos can apply on that second to last drive when they score a touchdown, Russell Wilson was running all over, not just being a pocket passer. If they can have him continue to do that, then I may like Denver going forward. But they have to go to what Russell Wilson's best at. Don't make him just a pocket passer. That's not going to work. And then last but not least, Cowboys versus Giants. Like I predicted, the Giants were a very overrated 2-0 type team. Sure enough, they came to roost. Giants just don't have much options on offense and don't have the best quarterback to run it. So they're doing the best they can with Brian Dable there. And the Cowboys once again get a good win, and we'll see if they can get another one against the Commanders, and they're going to be in a really good position for when Dak Prescott comes back. So now to go over my Week 4 NFL predictions. Start with the Thursday night game between Dolphins and Bengals. So this one was a very hard one for me to predict. But I kind of do like the Bengals, line of 3-point favorites here just because, it's a short week. Road teams traveling on the road, not every single time, obviously, but they will typically struggle. It's very, especially when it's a, pretty long distance from Miami up to Cincinnati. Plus, with the winds there and all, that's going to be a lot harder to throw, especially for, Tua, who doesn't have a big arm, So I feel like this is especially since the Bengals figured things out last week, I definitely feel like this is their chance to get it right. Now, the Miami defense against that Bengals line is a little bit concerning, but I do feel like the Bengals will get the home win here, and the Dolphins will finally lose the game. So I have the Bengals winning 26-20. Next, you got a London game with Minnesota and New Orleans. Minnesota's 2.5-point favorites here. Now, roster-wise, I actually would favor the Saints here, but because of the way Jameis Winston is not being 100% and the way he's been playing recently, I just can't trust the Saints right now. So I'm going to take Minnesota here in the points. I'm going to have Minnesota winning here 20-13. Next, you got the Browns versus the Falcons. I know Myles Garrett, from his car accident and all that, is questionable to be in this game. But I feel like even if he doesn't play in this game, the Browns should still win because the Falcons ain't going to stop the run game of the Cleveland Browns. So I'm going to have Cleveland winning 34-23. Next, you got the Commanders versus the Cowboys. Cowboys are 3-point favorites here. I'm going to take the Cowboys here to get the win. I'm going to have it be in a closer game than it should just because not only is it a division game, but again, it's like, with Cowboys, and as you saw Monday night with the way they commit penalties and all that, that's going to allow Commanders to stay in the game. But the Cowboys will win at home here. I have them winning 17-13. Seahawks versus Lions. Lions are 6.5-point favorites here. I love that. I'm going to take it there. I do feel like the Lions can get enough pressure on Geno Smith to kind of make him get a few mistakes here. And I don't feel like the Seattle defense is going to be able to stop the Lions offense. I know DeAndre Swift is going to be out for a couple weeks, but Jamal Williams is a very capable backup, and that Lions offense has looked really good. The Titans versus the Colts. Colts are favored by 3 here. I know the Colts just upset the Chiefs here, but I'm just still kind of need to see more from them, so I'm going to take the Titans here. I'm going to take them with like 20 by 4, like 20-16 type of score there. Next, you got the Bears versus the Giants. Giants 3-point favorites here. And I don't like the Giants, but also, as you know, I don't like the Bears either. So I actually will take the Giants here to win and potentially cover here. I have the money in a low-scoring game, 17-10. Jaguars versus Eagles. Eagles are 6.5-point favorites here. Um, I, I do think the Eagles will win here because again, I do feel like Jacksonville, they're good. They still have some growing to do and all that. And Eagles, defense and offense is going to be too much for Jacksonville overhand to handle. But as far as will it be a one possession game or not, that's what I'm kind of not sure about. I'm thinking it's going to be a more two possession game. So Philadelphia winning 28-16. Jets versus Steelers. Steelers favored by 3.5. Now this is one of the upsets of the week here. I'm going with the Jets. Now I know they don't. Their top three offensive tackles are all on an IR right now. But if Zach Wilson comes back, and I feel like he can do just fine with no TJ Watt on the other side for the Steelers. Because again, the Steelers have not won a game that TJ Watt has not played in. So that's an alarming stat there. But also, since the Steelers offense is not going to make the Jets have to, be in a shootout type of game, I feel like I can favor the Jets there, despite being on the road. And I have the Jets getting the upset 22-20. Bills versus Ravens. Bills favored by 3.5. This is going to be one of the best games of the week. I'm really looking forward to this game. I know it's at Baltimore, and Baltimore's been looking really good, but I feel like Buffalo's going to kind of bounce back here after getting embarrassed last week, and they're going to get the win here. Now, they don't win a lot of close games, but this is the right time. Well, I do think they will win a close game. I have them winning 27-24. Chargers versus Texans. Chargers favored 6. Now, this is a very hard one because, again, there's just so many injuries. Like, Rashawn Slater, right tackle's out for the year. Their center's still out. Keenan Allen's questionable. Herbert, still trying to recover. Bosa is a day-to-day. We don't sure if he's playing. So it's like there's just so many star players. And then J.C. Jackson for the Chargers. So there's so many star players injured. And since the Chargers actually struggled against the Texans last year, this is another upset here. I'm actually taking Houston to upset the Chargers by 120-19. Next, you got the Cardinals versus the Panthers. This is like a picking game, basically. I know the Panthers finally got on the win column, but again, their offense doesn't look impressive. So since the Panthers are going to put up a lot of points, it allows for Arizona, even if they get off to a slow start once again, to be able to recover this time. So I have Arizona winning by 1 here, 17-16. Next, you got the Patriots versus the Packers. Packers are favored 10.5. I love that line. Take it. Brian Hoyer starting for the Patriots, not going to get the job done against that good Packers defense. And the Packers won't have to score much on offense because they'll be able to control the game. So I have them winning 23-6. Broncos versus Raiders. Raiders are favored by 2 here. I'm not sure why. I know they're at home and the Broncos have been struggling, but I do feel like the Broncos finally figured out something, on that touchdown drive last week where they can play here. Now, I'm not going to predict this a high-scoring game. I think it'll be in the teens, but I do think Denver here gets the win as Vegas falls to 0-4. I have them winning 19-17. And then for the Sunday football game, we got the Chiefs versus the Buccaneers. If I know Mike Evans is going to be back, which is great for the Buccaneers, but Godwin's out, Julio Jones is out, and they still have offensive line pieces out, then I'm going to take the Chiefs to rebound here and get the win. I like the line because I feel like that's exactly right. They win by exactly 3, 20-17. And then last but not least, Monday football, you got the Rams versus the 49ers. 49ers are 2.5-point favorites here. Now, a lot of people are thinking the Rams are probably going to win this game, but it's like I actually like the 49ers here to bounce back from that loss. One, their defense is really good, and the Rams' offense have struggled. So I do like that matchup component. And then on the offensive side, Shanahan knows how to scheme up against the Rams and make Jimmy G efficient against the Rams. Now, Trent Williams, the best left tackle in the league, is out, so that's not ideal for the 49ers, and that's something the Rams could potentially exploit there. But overall, I do feel like the 49ers can get the home win here. I have them winning by 3, 16-13. So again, thank you very much for listening to my podcast today. Please subscribe to my channel to learn about me. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful day.